Hey guys, this is Giovanni Rodriguez, and you're watching Pop Culture with Pat. Get it?
Hey guys, welcome back to Pop Culture with Pat. So today I have special guest on the show, Giovanni Rodriguez. He's been in the business for about 20 years, got a bunch of different credits to his name, including things like Mayans M.C, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and most recently he was actually in the Suicide Squad as well. So we're going to be talking about those things today. Thank you again, Giovanni, for coming on the show and doing this.
Oh, thank you, Pat. Thanks for having me, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, no
My
problem.
first podcast, by the way.
For you?
Yeah,
Awesome.
for sure.
Well, hey, welcome. I'm glad I get to be your first interview. So that's really cool. So
Thanks, man. Let's do it.
we'll kind of we'll start off just from like the beginning. Where did your passion from wanting to work in film and television? Where did that kind of all come from, and how did you get started?
I think it all started for me when I was fairly young. I always knew I had a passion for something big. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know if it was athletics or anything else. And once I got into high school, I took a TV production course. I got bit by the bug right away. First day, I had an awesome teacher, and he taught us the secret of how you do the weather report. You remember that old trick that they used to look at the side green screen and
Yeah.
well, it just blew my mind. It completely blew my mind. I was like, whoa, is that how a weather report is done? And I was hooked, man. I was hooked. I knew it was something with TV. I originally wanted to be a sports anchor, and I just didn't have the schooling for it. Roughly around college, I said, what can I do to still be in front of the camera? And I said, let me try acting. And that's where that began. And I began with a few courses in college and whatnot, and began from there.
So you got a bit with the acting bug. So that's funny. And I was reading, doing a little research on you, and just that you've pretty much up to this point, you basically, it sounds like you've almost gotten to work in, a little bit in like almost each department on like a film set. So, do you have one department for you that kind of is like your favorite? And then what's something about that department that someone outside the field, might not be aware that you guys do there?
Well, yes, I have touched on fairly every department on a film set, behind the scenes, everything from catering to set decoration to special effects to electrician. I would say that the one that I have the most passion for was assistant directing.
Oh,
And I got really passionate about it because I was able to work with extras, and I was able to work with the background, and I was able to coach them and direct them, and that was very rewarding for me. And I also got a lot back from it in being able to teach others. It was a rewarding feeling. And now some of these guys that started off as extras are out there doing big things, and it's quite a feeling, man.
yeah.
To see the progression, and you got to start there.
Yeah.
You really got to pay your dues and start off knowing every aspect of the business. And for an actor, he must know what it's like to be an extra, and to be on a big set, to be a small fish on a big set, and slowly you'll work your way up if you stick with it long enough.
Yeah, I myself, I've only done it once. Not last year, but the year before. I got to work as an extra on
That was all right.
Adam Sandler's movie Hubie Halloween. So that was
Oh,
like
nice.
my first experience, and I've always had a passion for for movies and television stuff like that. But that was my first chance to really got to be a part of that, and it was just such a fun experience. Even though we were just like literally shooting that one scene, but just getting to be on that set and getting to see all the kind of the behind the scenes stuff and see how much goes into even just like that one scene, like between, like you said, like the catering, all the assistant directors and stuff like that, all the stuff that
Absolutely.
just shooting that, it gave me a whole new appreciation as far as like,
oh man, for sure, you do get to see the aspects of it. And how was it working with Adam Sandler?
Oh, it was awesome. Super nice guy.
Yeah,
He came
right.
on like the set. He came over. Said hi to everybody. I got a chance to like talk to Michael Chiklis like as well. He was
Oh yes, I worked with him.
Yeah. So I mean, everyone on the set was super friendly. It was like kind of middle of like summer, so it was pretty warm. But like honestly, didn't bother me at all. We were there. I think it was like a 12 13-hour day, which I think that's like pretty normal for for like
Yeah, that's pretty normal.
it, yeah, it flew by because I mean, like I said, just getting to to see all that and be on like an actual film set, it was a lot of fun. So
Oh man, good.
I can totally understand. Yeah, you getting like and getting that appreciation, getting to see others, grow from with
Mhm.
like coaching and stuff. Now,
That's pretty
a couple
cool.
of your projects we mentioned in the beginning, you got to work on both like Mayans MC and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Can you just talk a little bit about how you got those roles and kind of how that came to be?
Well, Mayans MC was one I was pursuing for a really long time. That's there's definitely a story of persistence in that one. I was a big fan of Sons of Anarchy, which is where Mayans MC spun off from
Yep.
on FX. It originally started on Fox, and it was a Kurt Sutter written trilogy story, and I really got bit there with Sons of Anarchy. It was a project that I heavily pursued, and I went after it from every angle. At the time, I was a production assistant on a show called Burn Notice that was filmed in South Florida, and we kept getting a few guest stars on our show that had been on Sons of Anarchy. And one week we got Kenny Johnson, who was Kozik on Sons of Anarchy, and I was just like blown away. And I was like, man, I'm gonna be on that show one day. I'm gonna be on that show. And I sent off headshots. I pursued casting directors. I sent off email after email for years after year after year. And on the last season of Sons of Anarchy, I got a return email from the casting director, and that was it. There was no more interaction after that, and I was like, oh, I was so close. uh, and then Mayans MC came out, and I was again on the hunt and pursuing everybody that I could, sending off as many emails, getting my demo reel ready. I learned how to ride a motorcycle for it.
Oh,
I gained a little weight. I shaved my head. I tried a couple different looks with a beard and everything. And and the key thing is that I got a great agent. I got a great agent that was able to get me there and get my headshot and my demo reel seen by the casting director, Wendy O'Brien. Shout out to her. She's a casting director for Mayans MC, along with other huge films. And it finally got to her desk, and I got an audition.
that's
Um, After that, it was all out of my hands, and it's a luck of the draw after that, man.
yeah, but I
It
mean,
really is.
you gotta respect that, persistence and for this, this
Man,
acting. Yeah, I feel like you said, you got to be really persistent. Also, kind of what you were saying too. Just you got to really build up like your network too, because I feel like the more people that can definitely like help.
absolutely.
But I mean, that's awesome. I mean that because you could have easily given up. After maybe like a couple times and saying, hey man, maybe this is just isn't meant to be, but you kept after it and look where
Oh,
on that Mayans MC now.
that insecurity ugly head sometimes, man. It definitely does, and it's there. It's there. I'm not gonna lie to you, but keep pushing through it, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And that I'm glad too that you were able to finally like make it through. So congratulations on getting that. That's an awesome story.
Hopefully, I'll be back for season 4 of Mayans MC. We'll stay tuned for that, but fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed, man. And what
I
about
didn't get I didn't get choked out there.
yeah, what
Not
about
yet.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier? How did that come about too?
That was an interesting audition. it was my first official audition with my new agency, and I had just gone through a pretty tough audition process to get into the agency. And my first audition that they give me is this project here. And I had no idea it was for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It came under an alias name.
Yeah.
So I didn't know really what it was until after I got the part. I did a little backstory on it, and did some research on who was directing and whatnot. But I didn't know what it was for exactly. I just gave it my best shot. It was my first audition with a new agency, and I wanted to prove them right. And I gave it my shot. And I think it took me 2, maybe 3 auditions before I got that one. Before they gave me the green light on that project. But that was a fun one, man. That was it was a cold night in Georgia. Out in I forgot where we shot that. About an hour and a half away outside of Atlanta. I want to say Conyers, maybe. It was a cold night.
Which is funny because you don't, a lot of, especially, like up where I'm up in New Hampshire. You think of Georgia, it's like you
New Hampshire.
Can't really imagine like Georgia being, too cold. But I mean,
oh.
if you're down there, the temperature is like obviously, it's
right, exactly. Maybe not cold for New Hampshire, but it was definitely cold for Georgia. I'd say it was, I don't know, maybe in the teens. I don't know, maybe in the teens it was, the 20s maybe.
That's still
20s, 30s. That's pretty cold for us.
Yeah, no, that's still pretty cold for us. So that's like freezing for down there in Georgia. So.
Oh man, no. It was definitely cold for a movie set for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely. And there must be. I know it's like fairly common too for especially for projects like Marvel and stuff like that for them to shoot like under alias, like name or give you guys like alias like names. So. And it must be such like it must be so wild to you're auditioning for this thing, you don't know what it is, and then afterwards you find out and it's like, oh hey, by the way, this is one of the new Marvel Disney Plus shows that are coming out. So that must be pretty rewarding, like finding that out like afterwards.
No doubt, especially finding out who your co-star is going to be, or who you're going to be doing a scene with.
Yeah.
And that's what happened on Suicide Squad. I had no idea what it was for, and I got first callback on that. It was a direct request from the director. So sometimes it's a request from the producer. Sometimes the writer has a little bit to do, and for some reason it came back as director request.
Right,
and
James Gunn himself.
Yeah, no doubt, man. So, and then I find out that I'm working with some girl named Margot Robbie.
No big deal.
I didn't know who it was. I didn't know who she was. I'm asking some of my friends, who is Margot Robbie? And they're like, you don't know who she is? I said, no, I haven't. I've never seen. Was she in the first Suicide Squad? I don't know. I didn't see it. So they're like, are you kidding me? And that was pretty fun. So yeah, getting to work with her was amazing after I did some research on her and find out who she was.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, as far as to jump right into the Suicide Squad. So what was it getting to work with her? What was it, how was it meeting her and just getting to work with Margot overall?
Yeah, man, like I said, I got to know a little bit more about her, but right before I went on set. I did some research on her past films, but she was excellent. She was very professional, always very professional. Always, we kept the communication open as to how we were doing the stunt and whatnot. We were supposed to have a rehearsal date, but that never happened due to her schedule conflict. I did my rehearsal with the stunt team several days before, and I think she had a separate private rehearsal. So we never actually met until we got on set.
Oh, wow.
again, she just made me feel really comfortable, and she was very very professional and a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's, I mean, that's got to be awesome too, you know, especially working with someone like of like that caliber and just working with
Yeah.
them and they just make you feel like super comfortable like in the role. You know, it blew my mind. So after, you know, seeing the movie, I think it was like James Gunn came out and said that Margot, you know, like you guys did this stunt like on like your own, like Margot like did her whole thing. And
Yeah.
I thought, I was like, oh, you know, they probably used like a stunt double or something like that, like in there. But James Gunn said, nope, you know, it was like completely
Mhm.
like her and you. So can you just kind of break down, you know, that scene of where Harley Quinn, where she's, you know, escaping from.
Yeah, for sure. We both had stuntmen there to assist us, or to jump in case they felt at which point we weren't getting it right or something. That happens. That
Yeah,
happens often. They'll bring in a stunt person to get a better angle or something. Um, but they let us go with it, and she wanted to do it, and uh, I had to fall a certain way and hit a mark when I fell, to give her that that swing when she came up and grabbed the keys
yeah,
off of my holster. And we had a really great stunt team there to back us up, and we tried it over and over. And I think we were on a time crunch that day, and she was asked if she wanted to use a double, and she said no. She felt that we can get it, and I'll be honest with you, a couple times I was not hitting my mark, and I would fall to a different angle, and she couldn't wrap her, so it took a lot of timing. It took a little bit of work, and she's fabulous. I mean, the way she was working that harness,
oh yeah,
and she really has talented feet to
oh,
grab the keys that way, man. That was all her. That
for
was
sure.
all her.
And even like, did you guys have to do anything as far as like when she, you know, picked you up like with her legs and you know, she was strangling you like with her legs? Did you have to do like anything special, like obviously to make sure, you know, you guys didn't get hurt like in that, you know, scene, that part?
That was the toughest part for me. Was doing that choke out scene. She had a pretty firm lock on me, and she kept asking me, "Is it too tight?" And that was my Margot accent. She kept asking me if it was too tight, and I said no. Let's keep it really locked in. Really give it to me so I can. I like to feel it. I like to feel it when I do a stunt or something.
Yeah.
And I told her to really lock on and go ahead. And if I needed to, I would give her the emergency tap out. And it almost came down to that, man.
Oh
It
yeah.
almost came down to it. There was one particular time where James just let it go, and he wouldn't yell cut, and she had me hoisted up. And the way we did it is, she's on a harness and I'm on a harness, so
Yep.
we both get lifted up at the same time.
Okay.
Uh, so it actually looks like she's so we're both up in the air, and she's really got a lock on me. She's really got me locked in, and in my mind I'm thinking, yo, cut, come on, James, yo, cut, yo, cut. And I almost tapped out and cut.
Right there.
So that was a lot of fun. I hope they use that one, because that one was a real choke out, and I never really got to tell her that, but my neck was hurting for a good few days after that. I'll tell you what.
That's, I mean, that's an awesome story. I mean, and what a scene, because it's definitely, I mean, I've seen the movie 3 times now.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
so
nice.
yeah, I absolutely love the film. You know, it was really cool when I first heard that, you know, James Gunn was going to be directing, you know, this project. I was like, you know what, that's the perfect guy to direct, I think, you know, like the Suicide Squad. And this scene, you know,
Yeah.
in particular was definitely one of the standout scenes in the film for me. So I was, you know, I was really excited
Really?
to hear your story, just that kind of how that.
Oh man, that's awesome, Pat.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So, and I have to ask you, I know it was probably just, you know, something like in the script. So, who were you texting that was so important that you took your eyes off Harley Quinn? That scene?
Well, James left it up to me. He kind of told me that I was preoccupied with what I was going to do that evening, and I believe I was texting a girl, probably. I don't know.
That's funny. Yeah, I just figured out like I'm sure it was just like something like, I'll just pretend you're texting someone or whatever. But oh,
Yeah, they put a couple of emojis there, and yeah, I was in character, thinking of what I was doing for the evening.
that's funny. Awesome. And like I said, the Suicide Squad, it's an amazing movie, but it's also, it's pretty like insane. Where it looks like you guys, everyone on the cast just had like an absolute blast, filming this thing. Can you? I know you were kind of just on there, working for like that scene. Can you just talk about like the whole, like the vibe, on working on that set?
I've been on a lot of movie sets, obviously in front and behind the camera, and they were really relaxed. And they had really good chemistry, which is which is often easy to spot. Sometimes there's a little tension. Sometimes it doesn't all flow as well. But there was a really great cast, really great crew. I remember just feeling very welcomed from everybody. Everybody from the hair and makeup team to the directors to the production assistants. Everybody was really great. The catering team. It was a really fun day. It was a really fun couple of days, actually. I think it took us 2 days to shoot it and 2 days of stunt rehearsal. And I only had Margot on set with me. I didn't have any of the other cast members for my particular scenes. James was also very welcoming. He was a lot of fun. I could tell there was a very intense scene and a lot of moving parts, and he made that known fairly early in the day that we had a lot of moving parts and a lot of things to get right for this scene. So he was pretty focused. Very professional. A lot of fun to see him go, though. A lot of fun to see him work.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as far as like James, James Gunn go, like I was gonna ask you what it was like, working with him, because I mean, he a lot of his movies, they're definitely, they're pretty crazy. Like obviously you have, Suicide Squad, you have Guardians, you have like
Guardians.
so I mean, he's done a lot of projects and that's what I like about him. He does stuff that's like not conventional, and there might be some kind of like weird stuff out there, but
Mm.
it's something that I really appreciate. So I was curious what it was like to kind of work with him like overall. So he was just very focused.
Very focused. Yeah, very intense at several times, but funny. He would crack up the whole set sometimes and just say a couple funny things. And him and Margot had a very good rapport. I could see that they had great chemistry. She was having a lot of fun. He asked for her opinion on a lot of things, which is really cool to see. And she was willing to do her stunts, and he was also very accommodating and letting everything roll and letting us have fun with it.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, and I mean, you like I said, early on that you've been in the business now for for about like 20 years. You've had a number of different types of roles. Worked on different parts of like the sets. So, and I imagine each project has is an experience, and you take away something
For
from
sure.
each one of those projects. What would you say the biggest thing is that you took away from working on the Suicide Squad?
This was a real special one. I got to work with a great stunt team, a very professional stunt team that made us feel very comfortable during the whole time. Working with James Gunn again was incredible. Margot Robbie, the whole cast and crew. It was a really fun, fluid day. I remember that, and I remember it like yesterday. And I do take back a lot of little things from each set, and I could almost piece out the whole day on several sets and several movies that I think back on. But I could just remember it was just such a fun day, and I didn't want it to end.
Yeah, no, I can
And
imagine.
yeah, man.
It's all about you got to have fun with these things. Like obviously it's it's work, you guys. This is like your jobs, but I mean, you got to have fun with it too. So anytime that you can go
For
on it
sure.
and it's just like relaxed, and and everyone's having a good time, I mean, that's just always, you know, a bonus for sure.
I mean, sometimes you're in there and there's some tough sets, man.
Yeah.
There are some tough sets, and sometimes there's a lot of tension, and you can feel it. You can feel it. It really is thick, and sometimes you're in and out, and you just do your thing, and you hope they get what they need and what they wanted out of you. But I'll be honest with you, this was a really fun set. They were very relaxed. Everybody, it looked like they worked well together. Um, we definitely all worked well on our particular scene, and with the stunt team, and with Margot and her stunt double, very hardworking lady. I don't know her name off the top of my head, but uh, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun working on Suicide Squad.
That's awesome. Well, that, I mean, that's exactly, like I said, that's exactly what I picture it. You know, watching the movie, I just pictured it had to be a really fun set to
Yeah,
be on, like overall. Now, you know, as
for
far as
sure.
you know, some of this you might not be able to go into super details, but you know, to kind of wrap things up, where can fans catch you at next? And is there anything else you want to say to the fans, or any just like advice maybe to people that are, uh, you know, looking to break into like the business?
Oh, definitely. If anybody is trying to break into the business, I just say that the biggest thing for me is that you stay with it, you stick with it, and if it's really meant to be, you're going to break through. Persistence is a big part of this game. Whether you're in front of the camera or behind the camera, you just got to stick with it, and you will get your break. You will crack into it little by little. I hope I'm inching forward, and I thank you guys for watching. I thank you, Pat, for having me. You can hopefully see me on Mayans season 4. I look to be coming back as the character Jinx, the vice president on the Oakland chapter, and you can see me on Instagram at Geo11, the number one and the word one, and I'm also on Facebook as Giovanni Rodriguez. You can check me out there too.
Well, hey, thanks again, Giovanni. You know, really appreciate you, you know, taking time out of your schedule to come on here, you know, talk about your career, talk about, you know, the Suicide Squad. It was a lot of fun getting to hear your behind the scenes stories. And again, guys, like you said, you know, just make sure to, you know, keep at it. Persistence is
Yeah,
definitely a key thing. And make sure you give him a follow. And yeah,
please.
thank you, Giovanni, for coming on the show.
Hey, thanks a lot, Pat. God bless, man. Good luck to you on your show, buddy. Anytime, all right? Hey, guys, this is Giovanni Rodriguez, and you're watching Pop Culture with Pat. Get it?